in 1988, the Anwar Islam Grammar School, Ele Ibadan, was demolishing many of the buildings, and the library was one of it. Okay, then, way back then, my mom was the vice principal academics of the school, and they had like over 5,000 books to keep safely somewhere. So my mom said, please bring them to my house. My bedroom is very big. They can be kept there. And so, over 5,000 books were brought into my mom's bedroom. I was just 8 years then. And then a little girl, who was I then, after doing my homework, every afternoon, I would sit on the linoleum carpet and I would read and read and read. And so every night, my mom would chase me, go and sleep. It's time to go to bed. And then, I believe I read more than 5,000 books. I read those ancient books. Whatever you could think was a book that was written, William Shakespeare, Enid Blyton books, recent, current books, Mind Boy. A lot of books, I read them as an 8-year-old girl. Fast forward my life to secondary school. Okay, so in SS2, I was made, you always choose 2 of us to be prefects in the chapel. So I was made librarian prefect again. I was given some old, boring books. Then I hated the job of a librarian. And then when we got to SS3, I thought I was going to be head girl. I was very brilliant. I could read and read and read for Africa. And then, all of a sudden, I was made librarian. So on Saturday, when my mates are busy having fun, doing all sorts, I, Temiloluwa, will go to the library and I will sit with newspapers and I will collect news for the assembly on Monday. And my friends would laugh at me and call me Efiko, Bono, all kinds of names, which I hated. But unknowingly to me, what I felt was a curse and a cross that I had to bear was just God telling me what my future would be, which I didn't know. When I got to university, my 300 level, I had a dream. And in that dream, I was on a dustbin site. And I saw many children, they were in rags. Some were crying, some could not eat, some were tattered. And they were holding on to my skirts, asking me to help them. And I was like, what am I doing in this kind of a place? I said, these children, why should I be here? What kind of a thing is this? So I was running away from the children. There were thousands of them. And the more I ran, the more they became so much. And the more they ran after me. I woke up from the dream, I didn't tell anybody. Because I felt, what kind of a dream is this? But I didn't understand that maybe something, somewhere, a force was telling me something. And so, after I graduated from university, I looked for a job. Let me tell you, you know how we seek for jobs and all that. I had uncles working in banks. I had friends that had daddies in banks. I tried getting a job First Bank. I got nothing. I tried getting a job Oceanic Bank. All my friends got jobs. They told me, Temiloluwa, you didn't fill your form very well. Go back and fill the form. The portal will not open. I did so many things. I just wanted to be a banker. I'd read the biography of Otubomi Shubomi Balogun. I'd read the biography how Jimovia started Zenith Bank. And all what was in my head was I wanted to be a banker. So after like 2 years, I didn't get a job. My husband told me something. He said, he was my fiancé then. He said, maybe God is trying to tell you something. Your job is not in a bank. I said, what do you mean? All of them in banks that do not have 10 heads. And then I applied for a job in a school. I got it immediately. And I had no training in education whatsoever. And then after, I went from one school to another. First of all, I cut my tooth in another privileged school, all those mushroom schools. And then, from then, I went to highbrow schools, lovely schools. 10 years in teaching, I learned the psychology of being a child. I learned the behavioral patterns of children. I learned so many funny things. But while then, I was looking for a job. I began to hear the whispers, these things we call tongues. Now, there are tongues in whispers. And that one said, write biographies for children. Make them as common as water. I said, who writes books for children? You can't make money. The only way you can make money is to be a banker. And so I put that apart. I said, you can't make money. Forget that one. And so, after 10 years of teaching, I began to hear the whispers. Now, those whispers come. And when they come, they're always in your head. What about those books I told you to write? I was like, man, I didn't train to be a writer. I didn't read English and all that. Who makes money writing books? And so all of a sudden, 10 years, my husband said, the Lord told him that if you don't leave that job, he's giving you just a few months. He will give that talent to another person. I said, wow, what would I do? I resigned my job. I had 3 children. How would I feed? How would they go to school? All of a sudden, I resigned, and then that was when the whispers came, and they were so explicit. Now, I realized, looking for jobs at that time, that in our lives, there's always something about your life that is bigger than you. And there are always tongues with a whisper that tells you what your life will be like. And so, we started Readland. It was in our sitting room. We removed all the chairs, all the settees, brought them out, all the dining table. Volunteers came. And we said, all we want to do is to read to children. I had two things to do. Raise for me a new generation of children, men and women of godly convictions. And the second one, write books for children. Write from my pages of excitement and diary of dreams. Write the world of children that I longed for saw before the foundations of the world. I said, wow, I don't know how to write. So I did so many things. We started bringing the children. The first time we brought children to read, we went around the communities, come and read in our house. Packed all the settee. There were 44 children. We registered them. The next time, we had 68 children. And before we knew it, there was an explosion. They brought a boy to Readland. I won't tell you his name. The boy was autistic. That was my diagnosis. I wasn't a doctor. But he could not read. He could not piece two strings of words together. He was 6 years old. And when everyone called him a dullard, in fact, his class teacher had put him on one side. And then the boy will come. His mom will bring him. He'll come for reading lessons. He'll come for reading routines. Reading guides, lovely men and young youths that I had would read to him, give him books, take him every week, and we kept following him up. All of a sudden, I heard a call from school. His teacher said, Mrs. Adeshina, what did you do to this boy? He was behind in the class before. He could not read anything. Now he's reading. He's the most fluent boy in my class. What did you do? That was where the explosion came from. Other parents started calling in. That one Miss Bridget said, go and meet a lady in Readland. They will help you. Whatever the problem of your child is, whatever it is, we will help you. And that was how we started. Then there was an explosion. Over 200 children in our own little sitting room. How would we do it? We started having 2 batches of read aloud sessions. 10:30, 9 to 10:30 in the morning, and then 10:30 to 12 p.m. And there was so much. And then our landlord came. This house is a residential environment. You have to stop. You cannot continue like that. And that was the dilemma. How do we do it again? And during that time, we brought people like, what's her name? Is about there in Talabi, the punching people, to read their books to the children. We started mentoring teenagers. There was so much we had to do because I knew I had wasted time not doing what God wanted me to do. So I knew that the time was short. I needed to do it fast. And so we started writing books. We wrote the first anti-bully book for Lagos State. And Lagos State schools embraced it. It was endorsed by Lagos State. And we were giving the all of Lagos State schools 6 districts, and at least 100 schools in a district. Go and train them on bullying, anti-bullying. They should stop bullying themselves. And so that was when we won the GTB Simple Impact Challenge. And we went round all public schools, training them against bullying. And then the Lagos State Literacy Week came. And they said, it's your book that we will use all over Lagos State in the public schools for the Lagos State campaign and all that, for the Literacy Week. And there was a drama and all that. All the DGs of Lagos State, the permanent sec, were all there. All because we followed a dream that God was telling you to do. And then all of a sudden, that day I was in our house. After we said, what were we going to use? We can't chase away these children. We have to continue. This is what God sent us to do. All of a sudden, I was in our house in the afternoon, and I got a call. Hello, who are you? And she said, I'm the PA to our Excellency, Ms. Dolako Shibajo. I said, what do you want from me? I said, I don't know. She said, no, we know you. We want, our Excellency has a campaign on the bookshelf. I would like you to be part of the campaign. Can you come to Aso Rock? I said, yes. But I wasn't too sure. She gave me a name. She said, go and confirm from her. I said, all right, ma, I will confirm. I confirmed from the lady. That lady is a wife of an ambassador. And she said, no, you have been doing good work. You are the one. You are the one they are talking about. That your book was showcased in Paris. It was showcased in London. That was where she came across your book. And she said she's part of her presidential shelf project. And after that, I've got several calls from her. And on several of our projects, like the drug abuse campaign, she's running on. And then we had to do something else. We had to get, the read aloud sessions had to continue. And so what did we do? We got a field. And before the field, someone else approached me and said, you do a lot of things for children. You can run a radio program where you can reach more children. And you know, when we are in our comfort zone, it always looks as if I don't want to go out of my comfort zone. But I found out that God always pushes me out of my comfort zone. So we started a radio program called Readland Radio Fun Time, where 1 hour I was given free on WFM 91.7 Voice of Women Radio. Till date, we've run 10 months. I've not paid a dime to them. And they have not yanked the program away from radio one day. And we started a read aloud session to children on the radio. And then we started inviting lots of children. Many children will come and advise other children, you better read, because if you read, you'll be a leader. Then many children now came. Children like my own daughter, who has read like 1,000 books. That's Mojoin. She's the youngest OAP that I know on radio. And then other children like Daniel Atsoje, Demilade Sachs, what's her name now? Arike Photography. And all of them will tell other children at home their story of reading. And they will inspire other children. That was when the phone line started jamming. There are many times you can't even pick all the calls. Their parents will be talking in the background. Oh, yeah, say this, say this. And it was so awesome. And the radio kept saying, get sponsors, get sponsors. We didn't get sponsors, but they did not yank off the radio for one day. Today that I'm not there, it has been played. Repeat session will be recorded and all that. So it was so wonderful that we kept doing it. All of a sudden, Kellogg's called up and said, anywhere you go and take your reading program, we will follow you, we'll feed the children for free. In as much as we wanted them to give us money, but I found out that with something, God starts with you. Always take the step of faith. He starts little with you. And so all of a sudden, we had this field, massive field. We didn't even brand it. Kellogg's branded it the way they wanted to brand it. And then they brought their food and fed the children. After we left our house, the first time we had a read aloud session on that field, we had over 500 children. And I was like, they keep coming, but they are so massive. There are many children. And they will tell me that, you don't know what you are doing. You are the only one doing it. People are not concerned about children. They want to raise leaders anymore. And I found out one thing. All the children that I saw in my dream years back started coming. I saw the sexually molested children. I saw homeless children. We discovered some children inside buses. I saw children, pregnant teenagers, that saw solace in books. They would just come. They knew that when they come, someone would listen to them. Someone would teach them. They only came to read. You will hear a report like, I want to read. That book, I did not finish it. I want to read. And then we saw all manner of children. And I remember the dream I had. That dream on the dustbin was a realization. What I'm doing now is a realization of everything I am seeing in the dustbin. And I found out that something about God is, I became a citizen of the universe. And as a citizen of the universe, I have an energy field in the person that is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. And that means that everything I do, he orchestrates it. And everything I do about my life is bigger than myself. I may think that I want something myopic about myself, but God wants something bigger. And so no matter how I try, I am in a picture of something that is bigger than me. And so all the children started being inspired. Then I began to see children bringing up their talents. 10-year-old children drawing. Children that you will see on the streets, they will come and meet me. Organize that football competition. They are street children. We want to read. We'll bring our friends. They'll come and read. And we'll all play ball. And we'll get something. Isn't it? And so we saw all manners of children. But the greatest thing of this is that it takes a village to raise a child. And I am talking into the future now. I'm looking at a future where fathers, mothers, parents, uncles and aunties like you, grandparents will all rise up to build the world where children will no longer be children of the future, but they will be leaders of today, solving the leadership challenges in our country, because that's what God told us to do. Where children will arise and be futuristic. They will solve the problems of child trafficking, molestation. They will solve the problems of leadership. They will solve the problems of sexual abuse and all manner of problems that we have. Because I tell you something, when you empower a child to read, these children will give you more. And that's what I've discovered. We're working with all these children that come to Readland. And then I call on brands also. I call on partners. I call on everyone that is concerned about the welfare and the leadership of our country, that we should all arise, because the future is not coming. The future is now, and we are preparing our children for it. Where a world, an amazement of addictive reading, of magic and fun, a world of talking books without end, will become a world like Disneyland. Where Readland will become a world like Disneyland. That's the future. And where all African books you've ever read and will still read and are going to be produced will become magic and will come alive to our children. Thank you.